What's going on, everyone? It's Professor Gnome, and today we're going to be looking at actually one of the newer cards we never really got around to, and that's Scovillain EX, and it has a pretty cool ability in the double type, where as long as this Pokemon is in play, it is a grass and a fire type, which is really cool because it allows us to hit a lot of relevant matchups for weakness that you wouldn't really think of. For example, if Duraludon hasn't attacked yet, then we hit that for weakness. We also hit the other half of that deck in the Dialga for weakness. We hit Goldango for weakness, which is a deck growing in popularity. And then on the upper side of things, we hit the Roaring Moon for weakness, as well as Charizard EX, which is probably the most relevant out of all of these that we hit for weakness. We also have the Spicy Rage attack, which is pretty cool, where it does 10 damage, but then 70 more damage for each damage counter on this Pokemon. And we can get this to hit really, really high numbers, but it's actually not even that hard to do that. And so most of this list is based on the list that got top 8 in a recent online tournament. I think the list is really cool. I apologize that I don't know the original creator, but they're kind of around. If anything, what I'll do is I'll include their name in the description below if I can re-find it, because I just saw it randomly on Twitter. But if I'm able to re-find it, it'll be down in the description. If I'm not, I apologize. But what it focuses on is using the Dodrio, where it has the Zooming Draw ability, where once during your turn you can put one damage counter on this Pokemon, and if you do, draw a card. So it gives us a draw engine, but it also functions as a really strong single prizer if we can power it up with the Zooming Draw, because it can use the Ballistic Beak attack for 10 damage, and then just 30 for each damage counter on it. But that's not just the only, just being a backup attacker and draw isn't actually the only purpose it's serving. We can actually use the damage pump to move 2 damage counters from one of our Pokemon to another. And if we do, then we can move that onto our Scovillain and make it really, really strong. Another way that we're going to be powering it up is actually using the Magma Basin, where we can put 2 damage counters on our Scovillain and add a fire energy to make powering it up a little bit easier. One of the things I also added to this deck was a Mel, because of the fact that a lot of times what I felt like was happening is that I couldn't get the Scovillain repowered up, where if the one in the active got knocked out, I was just like kind of too far behind sometimes. So it just helps kind of shore things up in the later stages of the game. And then I also added in a Canceling Cologne, just because I don't think you can run a deck without one. This deck does struggle a lot in the stall matchup, so if you're in that, you'll probably lose. But a lot of times, if a deck just has like a single cornerstone, it's pretty hard to get past, so that's where the Canceling Cologne kind of comes in, helps bail us out of some matchups. But yeah, that's overall the list, guys. Be sure to let me know what you think of the list and any changes that you would make. Be sure to let me know what you want to see in the next video as well, or any cards you want to see featured. And yeah, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. I want to give a special shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for that additional level of support. Really does mean a lot, and it goes a long way. Lastly, in terms of the announcements, or I guess almost lastly, if you are interested, there's a link to a community Discord down in the description below. Feel free to go there if you have any questions or need help building a deck or looking for people to like play with. All that's down there, and so it's a good time as well. If you're looking to try this list out for yourself, that'll also be down in the description. Also, there's a link to the new official Twitter account for the channel. I'll be kind of doing more announcements and stuff like that on that, so if you want to go give that a follow, I'd greatly appreciate it. Lastly, before we jump into the game, I know this is kind of a pretty long-winded intro of announcements, but I'm in a new recording area right now and like trying a little bit of a new setup, so if my audio is a little bit different, that's why. But just let me know how it sounds. I don't know if like it echoes more in here or anything like that, so be sure to let me know how the sound quality is, or if you didn't even notice anything would have been different if I didn't say anything. But yeah, that's going to be it for all the long-winded intro and announcements, and I will see you guys all in game number 1 in just a moment. Peace. Alright, we're in game number 1, and our opponent's going to be going first, which is a little bit unfortunate, but it's not like that big of a deal. We'll go Capsakid, a second Capsakid, and our Doduo. Our opponent mulligans. We are up against Charizard, which is, again, like I said, not that bad for us. Because we can use the Doduo to do a good amount of damage. We will be hitting the Charizard EX for weakness. That also helps us out. Obviously, we'd love to be going first, but it's okay. There's the Buddy Poffin. Because we already have the Fezandipiti in hand, it's like not that bad. Like if a single Capsakid gets knocked out, we don't really mind all that much. Surprised they didn't go Rotom. Because we're going to go Rotom Fan here. Go ahead and Fan Call. Get ourselves one Doduo, double Dodrio. Go ahead and place this down, and then what I'm going to do is actually attach to the Capsakid on the bench and pass my turn. The main reason for this is that, yes, I could go for the increasing Spice attack, but I'm kind of worried about them getting into Charizard and then just attacking into it, and then I'm like pretty far behind. Now, in this case, that didn't matter at all, and it looks like my opponent kind of has nothing to work with, which is unfortunate for them. We'll go Zooming Draw. We do get one of our Scovillains. Earthen Vessel. We'll get rid of the extra Capsakid. Go double energy, and then from here what we can do, I'm gonna evolve, but I'll attach the energy as well here, but I'm actually not gonna bother to start attacking yet, because if I attack into the Pidgey, right, I don't actually get anywhere. Because they just bring in Charizard, they probably get, like, the first attack off into me. I guess I get the revenge attack, but that doesn't really help me right now. And also, I would have to use my Damage Pump in order to deal with the Pidgey. I'd much rather assume, because they have Pidgeotto, that they're going to go... Okay. I'm making, like, these longer plans, and they're not going to anything. What I want to do is get into boss's orders, like, really badly so I can knock out the Charmander. Arven will do. And grab Secret Box Rescue Board. Pass, and if they don't do anything, then I just boss's orders up the Pidgey. And then I think from here what I do is make... I can make one more Doduo. And pass. Yeah, I think that's fine. There's another Charmander. This is a weird game. Okay, they're just doing nothing, so now I have to start going on the aggressive. I wanted them to go Zard early, but that's just not happening. So let's go Zooming Draw. There's the Mel. Zooming Draw again. Alright. We go Secret Box here. Get rid of 2 energy and 1 Rescue Board. Grab ourselves the boss's orders, as well as an extra Magma Basin. We'll grab Earthen Vessel. Yeah, I think that's all fine. So now what we'll do is we'll go Rescue Board, bring this in. There's an argument that we should actually just get rid of the Pidgeotto here. And I actually think that's kind of a fine play to make. Yeah. I think that's a fine play to make. We'll move the... We'll keep it at 10 damage. Because we don't want to injure ourselves too much. We want to be in range that we do still survive if they make Charizard, and then we'll be able to get the counter KO after. Yeah. This is a super weird game one. So they go flip the script. I'm trying to think. They go Arven here, so they'll have Rare Candy, Sealstone, Rare Candy Evolution. Alright, there's Rare Candy for Charizard. We do live a Charizard attack, I believe, because it does, what, 110 plus 30. Yeah, so it'll do 140. We survive, we attack back, knock out the Charizard, prep the next Capsakid. Unless they're planning to go tackle here to do enough damage that Charizard KOs. Okay, never mind. They're just bad. That's... I guess unless their backup play is to go Pidgeot after and attack with Pidgeot. Yeah, because we survived this. We have Ultra Ball. We can get ourselves into the new Capsakid. Go zooming draw. Okay, there's our Scovillain. We make Scovillain and Magma Basin to it. We can do that on the next turn as well if we wish. We hit for 3,523 damage. Just absolutely nuking. I think that's the highest damage I've ever gotten on something. That's crazy damage. Obviously insanely redundant damage. But still. And like the main thing here is like, if they bring in a new Charizard, we just bring Scovillain back in. And then at that point, we'll have enough damage down on the Dodrio that what we'll be able to do is just bring that in, look for our other boss, and just knock out Fezandipiti or whatever else is on the board. Yeah, because we still have 2 damage pump left. So we don't really need any of this, and whatever gets KO'd, we just play down Fezandipiti, draw even deeper. There's a research. Yeah, I think this person is just very new. We tried to play around the fact that like we thought they were going to be making the right plays and like that they were going to be kind of like better than they are, but again, like I said, they might just be new. Or on the flip side, they are just getting really unlucky with their hand. And the third option is they have no clue what we're playing or like how to play around it. So they were playing insanely cautious and wanted me to create the Scovillain first. That's the only thing I can think of. But their biggest problem here is, like, continually going Charizard. Like, you gotta make your Pidgeot, bro. Not prioritizing the Pidgeot is actively hurting our opponent. So what we'll end up doing here is we'll probably just bring in a Dodrio and then manually attach an energy to retreat it, allow this to get damaged by the Magma Basin. I think that's probably just going to be our play. And hold on to the damage pumps just so that way we can make a Dodrio that's like full damage in order to knock out whatever else we need to from the bench later. So like we'll bring this in. We'll use the Magma Basin onto that. Give that enough damage. We can go Zooming Draw. For an Iono we don't really need. Go Zooming Draw again. Another Magma Basin. Actually, let's just go Earthen Vessel real quick. We'll get rid of one of these Magma Basins that are irrelevant to us. Take the last 2 energy out of our deck. Let's check. We do have a copy of Boss that we do want in our, 16 cards left. We'll go... We'll play Fezandipiti down for now. Go Ultra Ball. We can get rid of this and this. Grab ourselves another Doduo. Get ourselves... We'll flip the script. Get ourselves 3 more cards. Get ourselves 1 more. Night Stretcher. You can attach an energy here. Retreat. Bring this in. And then we'll go Arven this turn, but it's really just to thin our deck. There's really nothing out of this that we like care that much about having. Yeah, like literally none of it is relevant. We'll go 580 with the Spicy Rage, which is pretty cool that we only need 2 damage counters, or sorry, 4 damage counters in order to like really overkill the Charizard. Pretty much with just 3 we do enough, which is really nice. It's really easy to get there with just Magma Base and Damage Pump. So your Charizard matchup isn't like unbearably bad. Now obviously if they're playing the Dusknoir, you have to be like a little bit more careful because they can just go Dusknoir, pop the Doduo, but if that's the case, they're only trading 1 for 1, and if they're going to be knocking out the Scovillain, like they're going to do that anyway. So it's not like a perfect matchup by any means, but it's also like not even that bad. And the draw support that we have is kind of crazy in this, in like a moment like this. I disagree with playing Terra Orb. I feel like you just want to have Ultra Balls. But yeah, because like on our next turn, let's say this gets knocked out, we're going to be able to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards, even if we're like Iono down to 1. They go Pidgeot, Radiant Zard. Yeah, and like we're gonna be able to get this to full power, which is also pretty nice. So yeah, this looks like this is going to be the game pretty much no matter what they do. Obviously, we still have to find the boss's orders, but it won't be that hard to do that because again, we'll be drawing 6 cards. We'll be able to Nest Ball out 1, so, and then plus we're top decking something on the next turn, like we're drawing off the top. So really, we'll have 6 cards to draw with 9 in our deck, and we can thin 1 because I think there's still one more Pokemon left in the deck that we can Nest Ball to. So, unless the boss ends up being the bottom one card of our deck, we're pretty much fine. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. We'll just be able to knock out Radiant Charizard. They take 2 prizes. We bring in our Doduo. Arven. We get this. I'm only doing this at this point. Yes, I can close out the game, but I am going to damage pump here. And it's mostly just because, 1, I can. And 2, I want to just do max damage for the fun of it. We're dropping big damage counters. But yeah, so we hit 280, so it's like, at max power, you also knock out the Pidgeot, you knock out Lugia V-Star, you knock out Palkia V-Star, like, it's... The Ballistic Beak attack actually is crazy. But yeah, pretty underwhelming game 1, because our opponent wasn't very, like, wasn't playing very well, is how we'll phrase it. But also, our matchup into Charizard, like, isn't that bad, which also helps us out. But yeah, we'll jump into game number 2 in a second, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 2, and our opponent's going to be going first. We are going to mulligan this hand away, but that's actually pretty good for us, because that hand was terrible. This is better. Especially because our opponent... Oh, I thought that was my opponent's hand for a second. Ooh, Sarah Ledge. So, we go Capsakid here. Our opponent mulliganed 1, 2, 3 times. This isn't that bad for us. We do, because we're going second, we're going to be able to Arven and get like our full setup, which will be nice. We will have Damage Pump as an option, obviously. What we'll probably end up doing is going Arven on this turn for just like Buddy Poffin and a Rescue Board or something. We'll probably be fine. We'll see. I don't think they're playing the Palkia build and for Sarah Edge, which means we don't have to worry about the Greninja in terms of being like an actual threat to us. Them discarding the boss's orders and the research is nice for us. It doesn't really matter that they discarded the Sarah Edge because they will have a lot of options in order to pick it up with. For right now, though, we'll go Buddy Poffin and a Rescue Board. Let's just check. Yeah. Our bench is fine. Question is... Yeah, this is fine for now. We'll probably end up going like Secret Box on the next turn. But let's grab 1 Kid and 1 Rotom Fan. Then what we can do is go Fan Call, get ourselves 1 of these and 2 of these. Dropping this for now. And then what we can do is attach to the bench here and go Pokestop after. Having the Nest Ball is actually fine. We could go 1 more Doduo, but I think we just Nest Ball for 1 more Capsakid for later. And end our turn there. On the next turn, we go Arven. Go Secret Box after we Doduo twice. Look to get ourselves... Yeah, alright, that's going to be our play. We're going to power up by, on the following turn, we're going to let this Capsakid get knocked out, which is more than likely. Then what we're going to be able to do, is look for the We're going to be able to look for the Secret Box, use Secret Box to get ourselves our Stadium. Be able to use the Stadium to put the damage counters down onto Capsakid, as well as Damage Pump over. Obviously, we'd like to have 4 damage counters, but that's just not really going to be an option. I mean, it is now. So, we go Doduo and Doduo. We'll go Zooming Draw. We go Zooming Draw again. There's our Radzard. We can hold on to this, though it might not be incredibly relevant. We can actually go Pokestop here, because it doesn't really matter what we discard, but if we can get some items out of it, that'd be cool. Okay, so we didn't, but it's okay. We can go ahead and grab the Secret Box. Use Secret Box to get rid of the Radzard. We can get rid of the one Ultra Ball and the Fire Energy. We'll grab a Boss's Orders, I think is fine. Grab this, and we'll grab one more Damage Pump, I think. Yeah, I think all that's fine. Drop this down. We'll go Ultra Ball. We'll get rid of the Iono and the... I think we can get rid of the Mel here as well, because we probably aren't going to need it after this. Place this down. Go Magma Basin. Get ourselves the damage. Retreat this out. Bring in the Scovillain. We're hitting for 150. Let's go Night Stretcher real quick in order to grab the Fezandipiti. Place that down. Go flip the scripts. Get ourselves that as well. So we'll go Damage Pump to move 10. Oh, yeah. Yep. So then we'll be able to go Damage Pump one more time. Knocking out, or having the damage anyway, to knock out the Serral Edge. We knock this out, take 2 prize cards, and put ourselves in a position where we will be able to, and the Night Stretcher there helps a lot. We have a Boss's Order, so we can knock out the Charcadet on the bench if they do make themselves a new Serral Edge. We have the Night Stretcher, so we can just pick up the Scovillain, do that all over again, and be totally fine. All we would really need to do is hit like a single energy, which we're going to be able to do without too much effort. Between drawing for the turn, drawing 2 with Doduo, and drawing with the Fezandipiti. So they retreat out, bring the Serral Edge in. If they attack, the game is over, more than likely. Yep, and they realize that. Well, this is going to be GG, game number 2. Taking down Serral Edge with kind of ease, to be honest. This deck is shockingly good. Will it win a major? Absolutely not. Is it a random rogue deck that's actually really powerful? Absolutely. It's a lot more fun to play than you think, so if at this point you're not convinced, try it out for yourself. It's a ton of fun. But yeah, we'll jump into game number 2 in a second, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 3, and we're going to be going first. We'll see what we get. We are going to mulligan this, and honestly, we have Secret Box, so it's not that bad. We Wouldn't really like to be discarding like Arven Mel and a damage pump right away, but it'd be okay. Okay, this is fine. It's not the best, but I won't complain because we do have the Arven for next turn. We'll see what our opponent's playing. We do have time as well to, you know, ramp up damage on ourselves. We are going first, so we'll get our evolutions in place. We don't have too much to deal with. We are up against Dracopult. That's a little bit of a problem. For sure. So what we'll do is we'll grab one of these, two of these. Yeah. That. We'll go Buddy Poffin for one more. Yeah, we'll go two more for now. Go energy onto the Capsakid pass. So one of the good things here is that what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to damage pump off the Dodrio, like off the Dodrios, when they attack with the Dracopults, which will be good for us. Also, as long as our Capsakid doesn't have like any damage on it, if they attack into us when we have the 20 damage counters on us, we will just one-shot the Dracopult back every time. Which is, like, kind of interesting. Especially if they're just, like, randomly putting extra damage on us. So, there's the other energy that we need. We'll go ahead and zooming draw first. There's a Magma Basin. We would love... Alright, so we have to get ourselves into the Scovillain, as well as a little bit more energy in order to actually utilize our Magma Basin. But what I think we'll do for now is we'll just get rid of the Rescue Board and the Fezandipiti because we can pick those back up later. We'll grab the Scovillain, place that down, and attach the energy. We'll go ahead and just do the 10 damage. It's not really relevant, but we'll do it. Because as of right now, if they evolve and go Dracopult and attack into the Scovillain, we actually just one-shot them back. So we're kind of just in this wall situation. And if they spread the damage onto the Dodrios, that's also fine. We just have to see if they actually bother to, like, attack into us. But if they don't, that's kind of also okay. They retreat, bring Dracopult in. Okay, they go Evolution. I was going to say their best play would be to go, like, Jet Headbutt first. Try to survive the attack and then go Phantom Dive. But this also works for me because they put a lot of resources. I really don't agree with running the Natu at this point in the game's lifespan. I think Natu is just not really good enough to run at this point. what we actually could do here is we could go Damage Pump onto the Scovillain, go Boss's Orders, pull up the Natsu, or actually, we're going to pull up the Dracloak, go Damage Pump to do enough damage, knock this out, we only take one prize, but it doesn't really matter. We do get the Earthen Vessel, that's really big for us, because now they have to put Zatsu in the active, or it doesn't, like, they won't actually be able to even use its ability. By putting Zatsu in the active, it means they can just throw more Psychic Energy on the Dracopult, which is what they don't really want to do, and they have to find a way to retreat this. And that's provided that they have a Psychic Energy in hand. And if they don't get anything off of this, we actually just knock out this Zatsu as well. Which means, though, they won't have a draw engine at all. The more I play this, I feel like this matchup isn't even that bad. Like, it's certainly not optimal, but it's not that bad either. So we'll draw here. Do one more zooming draw. We get an Ultra Ball. We'll go Earthen Vessel. Get rid of this. Grab ourselves 2 energy. We'll go Ultra Ball. Get rid of 1 and 1. To grab ourselves the other Scovillain EX. We can place this down. Go Magma Basin. Use Magma Basin onto Scovillain, get it a little bit stronger, and then we'll go Arven after for a damage pump, just to kind of keep this in hand for later if we need it. And then we'll go Spicy Rage, knocking out the Zatsu, and pretty much ending the game. There's not really much our opponent can do. We get a second damage pump, that's huge. Because if they go Phantom Dive, they can't spread enough damage to actually matter, and we do too much damage back. So yeah, at this point, the game is over. I feel like if you're not running... Actually, I feel like we'd be fine... Like the Dragapult Iron Thorns build, I feel like we'd also be kind of fine into that too. Because we don't have anything with the rule boxes with abilities that like actually matter. And yeah. Again, I think we just counter Dragapult really hard actually. Because there's not much they can do to us. Like they go Phantom Dive here. We don't really care about them putting damage on the Scovillain on the bench. I guess the main worry here... I'm surprised they didn't put it on the Doduos. The main worry here would be like, because we're at 220, they could go Boss's Orders, pull this up. I mean, they can't right now, but in theory. They would go Boss's Orders, pull this up, use the last bit of damage to knock this out. But what we would do is, in a case where that was going to be relevant, is we could actually damage pump off this 20 damage. Or even 40 damage, or whatever we wanted, to make it so that wasn't going to be like an actual credible threat. And yeah, so from here, our opponent literally has no cards to work with. We can actually drop 1,500 damage. That's so crazy. Take 2 prizes, and the game is essentially over at this point. That's so crazy. I feel like our opponents are just sitting there like the Punisher meme, where it's like, wait, 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 wait. Just like waiting for the clap back. Yeah, they have one card. Like, it's over, dude. They did knock me out. I should have damage pumped that off. I didn't even think of it. Ah, that's really funny. Alright, we bring in a new Scovillain. We'll go... Let me draw here. It is pretty funny that they knocked out my Scovillain with the Dreepy. Alright, let's attack. Close out the game. That is funny, actually. I'm happy that happened. Like Shadow the Colossus. That being said, I think Scovillain's really cool. Like, I like the card. I like the previous, I believe, what was it? It was Temporal Forces had the Grass Scovillain that I think is also pretty cool. I like that neither this one nor the other one are like incredibly competitively viable, but they're both like kind of fun rogue decks. But also the other thing is, like, I just think Scovillain's really cool. It's probably my favorite Pokemon of the recent generation. I'd really have to like sit down and think about it to confirm, but Scovillain is one of my favorites. I used it on my playthrough team, and I mean, it's not very good. Like, objectively, it's pretty bad, but it's a lot of fun to use, and I also just think its design is super cool. Like, the two peppers being, you know, like the green and red peppers and shooting fire and stuff. I wish it wasn't just like... I mean, I wish the other half of it wasn't just kind of like legs. But as a whole, I think Scovillain's a really cool Pokemon. Probably my favorite, like I said, of the most recent generation. But I'd have to think it over to really confirm that. Because, yeah, this is from... What else is from that generation that I, like, really, really like? I'm not sure, actually. I'd have to look. Why am I blanking on what the name of the generation is? Because it's not Sword and Shield. It's, oh my god, I feel so bad. Why can't I remember what it's called? Alright, ignore that. Scarlet and Violet, yeah. Oh god, we're in the series, like the Scarlet and Violet series. How can I not remember that? That's so crazy. My memory's so bad sometimes. But anyway, that's going to be the end of the game. Our opponent is going to concede. I don't know why they didn't just do that sooner. But maybe they just felt like giving me time to riff. But yeah, that's going to be game number 3. We took down Dracopult, even if not the most optimal Dracopult build. We took down Charizard EX, and we took down Ceruledge. So all pretty cool matchups. But yeah, that's going to be it for the video. And I will see you guys all in the next one. Like always, be sure to let me know what decks and cards you want to see in the next video. And I will see you all later. Peace.